speaking of number 12, I wanted to ask your opinion on this. So Spencer Jones and Jasson Dominguez have really been killing it in spring training. Uh, I am one, and me and Tyler have talked in the last couple episodes that we're both on the bandwagon of, hey, they have Trent, they signed him back. There's a with how good his year was last year, there's room to grow, right? He's going to be in another contract year after accepting the qualifying offer. But because they have these younger players and a lot of fans, myself included a little bit, are a little skeptical of what Trent Grisham can do. Can he repeat what he did last year? Because the rest of his history hasn't exactly been on par with what he did in 2025. I have questions about it. Some other fans may feel differently, but I think the interesting dynamic to me with how good Spencer Jones has been in spring and how good Jasson Dominguez has been in spring. And listen, I'm not sitting here telling you that I think they're going to be stellar players in the major leagues. We really don't know. I'm one that believes that prospects, we talk up prospects a little bit too much, but there's a lot of mystery that goes on there. I will say that for how Spencer Jones and Jasson Dominguez have performed in spring, if Trent Grisham is not close to what he was last year and isn't having that level of production, I think it's going to be a strong debate of how there's going to be fans that are going to be saying, why don't we get these players in here if Trent takes a step back? I don't think the Yankees will do it because they have so much trust with him and they give him a long leash and they want him to play that center field position. But I do think it's going to be a topic if Trent Grisham is not necessarily the same performer that he was offensively last year. I don't know what your 2 cents would be about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Yankees are confident in Grisham. I mean, I know that it was kind of the news of the offseason for a while that, did the Yankees think he was going to turn down the qualifying offer, whatever it is. But I don't think the Yankees offer him $22 million if they weren't at least semi-confident that he has a year comparable to what he did in 2025. So I'm with you that I don't know that he's going to hit 34 home runs again, but I think that there's reason to believe that he'll at least be in the ballpark. Look, I think that it's a really weird spot with both Dominguez and Jones because they both have different tools and different shortcomings. Like Dominguez has shown he can hit competently from the left side at the major league level. He's one of the better base runners on the team. He absolutely flies around the bases. At the same time, he's a liability against left-handed pitching. He was very poor against lefties last year. Kind of takes away his ability as a switch hitter when you have no confidence in him to hit from the right side really at all, let alone with power. He did hit a home run from the right side the other day, which I was encouraged to see. And the defense in left field has been just terrible. So that's another aspect of the game he has to work on. And then Jones, on the other hand, defensively, he's the guy that could play center field. So theoretically, he starts next year, when Grisham probably walks. I don't think the Yankees extend him. But he still strikes out at a really high clip. So I know he's hit some home runs this spring, and it's made some Yankee fans excited. But for me, I'm still just very skeptical that his bat plays up at the major league level. I think he's going to strike out a ton. He already does that in the minor leagues. So I'm not going to sit here and say he's definitely going to be a bust, but I'm not bought into the point on Spencer Jones's bat where I'm sitting here saying, yeah, I think that he can confidently play center field every day and be, a better option than Trent Grisham. So it's kind of weird. I'm looking forward to seeing what Dominguez and Jones do in the minors with a little bit more time there this year and just see if either one of them really pushes the envelope. I mean, obviously if Grisham's hitting like 190 and they're crushing it down there, maybe there's a decision to be made, but I don't think just because Trent Grisham is not replicating his 2025, the Yankees are going to be quick to make a change and swap in one of those two guys.
Yeah, I think it's just a conversation that's probably going to happen if he does stay a little mediocre or below mediocre. I'm on the same page as you though. I don't think that Spencer Jones and Jasson Dominguez are necessarily as good as what some people may talk them up to be as top level prospects. I think a couple years ago they definitely had some more cachet, but I think they have some ability. I'm not going to discount that. I just also, my argument, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Trent Grisham, is you got to have some more proven MLB talent out there. Mm-hmm. And based on his last year, which was at the major league level versus two other guys that are still largely unknown, I think the Yankees, and me, who is a little even doubtful of him, would like to see that as the lineup. And then it's also tricky then too. You're adding in. I saw one clip the other day where that was like, don't even keep Stanton in there and have Jones in the outfield. And you have they're already lefty heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of lefties then you're adding in still. So it's not even as if they bring in that dynamic where he's a bat from the right side. And yes, Dominguez can't is a switch hitter, but he's terrible from the right side. So
Hmm.
I I just think it's going to be a conversation if Trent doesn't perform as the way that we and it's because and the noise got a little louder because Trent wasn't very good in spring to start spring. He started
Right.
hitting a little better, but yeah, it's gonna be a fascinating thing to watch how it plays out and how Trent gets off to begin 2026. And do you think Jasson Dominguez, do you think he starts on the opening day roster? Because my hunch now is that I think he may start in the minors. I think we're kind of here. It's kind of pointing in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially with the Grichuk move, I think that's signaling that they need another right-handed bat, and to your point, Jason has not hit left-handed pitching well, and I don't think that it would have necessarily made a ton of sense for him to start on the opening day roster as it is because I want him to play every day. I want him to get the reps. I want him to hit from the right side, hopefully, and improve the defense. Because I think, I'm disappointed as someone who's been a big Jason guy. Obviously, he comes up and lights the world on fire for a week and a half in 2023. If you told me that we'd be sitting here 3 years later and he's on the opening day roster, yes, I'm disappointed, but I still think that Jasson Dominguez makes a big impact on this team this year. You can pretty much pencil in Stanton getting hurt for at least a couple weeks of the season, and then
Okay.
obviously, if anything happens to, God forbid, Judge or Belly or Grish, I think he's the first one to get the call and play every day because you know what he is at least against right-handed pitching. I think he's an average to above average hitter against right-handed pitching. Hopefully, he gets a little bit of the power back this year. That's kind of the one thing that was disappointing from him last year at the major league level was the lack of pop that we had seen from him throughout his minor league career. But I just don't understand why some Yankee fans are all the way out on Dominguez, but they still have high hopes for Spencer Jones. Like, to me, it's a little bit of shiny new toy where they've seen Dominguez at the major league level before, and Jones, you really only hear about him when he's on those homer streaks in the minors. But if you look into the numbers, like I said, he still strikes out a ton, and he's like 3 years older than Jason. So for me, it doesn't really make sense to be talking about Jones' potential for improvement, and then also at the same breath say, actually, Jasson Dominguez is terrible, and I'm out on him.
Yeah, I agree with that.